came to Vietnam for the first time with our two young kids, and we really didn't know what to expect from Hanoi, from Vietnam in general. I watched several videos about places where we're going to visit, but it's really quite impossible to imagine the place before you come there. I was surprised on many levels because Hanoi was something that I've never experienced before, though I already visited Asian big cities. So I was used to some cultural differences, but Hanoi was something very different from what I saw elsewhere. So we were staying in the old quarter, not very far from the lake. So we just went out in the morning to stroll on the streets and just try to experience what is the center of Hanoi. What the first word that comes to my mind was chaos, overwhelming, hectic. It was really a sensory overload. All these cafes, souvenir shops, communist symbols everywhere, fruit vendors, red rickshaw cyclists, conical heads everywhere, colorful buildings, handcraft stores, and all these sounds, and especially the weather. Actually, I did not expect that the heat would be so overwhelming in Hanoi. It was about 37 degrees Celsius, but it felt like it was much more, maybe because of humidity, and for me it was not the same heat as in Thailand, for example. I could really well tolerate the hot days in Thailand, but hot days in Hanoi was really difficult, something difficult for me. I was boiling and really not used to this kind of sauna temperature. Hanoi surprised me in another way as well because of this coexistence of two different worlds. On one hand, touristy locations with everything polished and bright and colorful and clean, and to cater foreigner visitors. And on the other hand, these really poor, quite dirty streets and some shops, which are part of this vibrant city, but the contrast was quite striking actually. Anyway, it was kind of overwhelming because it was so much action going on just walking along the street. So many people, so many colors, so many smells, so many sounds. Actually, we could maybe spend like 1 hour just staying on the side road and watching life going on. Everything is so unusual and so interesting. Regarding food in Vietnam, honestly, I was a little bit disappointed. I know it sounds crazy because Vietnamese cuisine is often described as one of the most exciting cuisine in the world, but maybe not if you are vegetarian or vegan. Vietnamese cuisine is heavily meat-based, and all these famous pho soups would not be the same without this meat broth. And it's quite the same for other Vietnamese dishes. They are really heavily meat-based, and it's difficult to replace these main components with tofu or tempeh. I know that vegan and vegetarian cuisine can be really exciting and fragrant and palatable in other parts of the world. I really tried so many beautiful, tasty dishes from vegan vegetarian restaurants elsewhere, but unfortunately not during our stay in Vietnam. Was a little bit disappointed about this, and especially about bread, because famous banh mi. Maybe we are picky eaters, because we come from France and we used to a very nice bread. French baguette is very different from Vietnamese banh mi, and French baguette inside is quite soft and moist and with all this air pockets, and it's flavorful and it's a little bit salty. It has lots of taste. And Vietnamese banh mi, which I tried in many places many times, but each time I found it too dry, and so without this moist inside, without air pockets, it's quite tasteless because I don't know, maybe it's lacking some salt or something. But anyways, what I can say about our encounters with Vietnamese people, I think they are lovely and very nice, but what I did not really appreciate that in this central part of Hanoi, at least, they were all time trying to sell us something, and they were really insistent. And when we were telling politely that sorry, no, thank you very much, and we're trying to get away from them, they were just following us and really trying to sell their stuff, sometimes even quite aggressively. So it was not very nice, and I know that they see us Westerners, for them we're all rich people. It was a little minus, at least for me. But again, I didn't spend much time outside of central Hanoi. Maybe it's different elsewhere. So maybe I wasn't lucky. Maybe I just stumbled on this very insisting and aggressive vendors. But anyways, it's my experience. I know that it's not good to draw conclusions after 3 days being somewhere, but it's about like first impression, the first feeling that you get when you come somewhere. Either, I think it's a very personal thing, either you like it very much or you don't like it. For Hanoi it was like, I don't know, I liked it and I didn't like it on the same time, so I had mixed feelings. Maybe despite all I said, it was more on the positive side, and maybe I really need to spend more time here and to go to more places and to meet more people. Maybe this positive would rise. What I'm trying to say that you really need to come here by yourself, because when we are watching other people's video, we cannot really apprehend the place. Our feeling, our impression would be unique. So I think everyone should be traveling to experience the world, to experience the life. And Hanoi is one of those places where for sure you need to come, because it shows life, it shows such a unique diversity, and it shows that cities can exist in such different ways. It might really turn your world upside down, make you think about so many things, and rethink your experience here on Earth. So I wish you all great traveling. I wish you all to come here to Hanoi one day.